Kosciuszko Middle School Article of the Week number 2, due Friday, September 27th. You're going to complete the vocabulary. And then here's the text read to you. Questions 10 through 18 are based on the following passage. The passage is adapted from Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from a Birmingham jail. I think I should give the reason for my being in Birmingham, since you have been influenced by the argument of outsiders coming in. I've had the honor of serving as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization operating in every southern state with headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. We have some 85 affiliate organizations all across the South, one being the Alabama Christian Movement for the Human Rights. Whenever necessary and possible, we share staff, educational, and financial resources with our affiliates. Several months ago, our local affiliate here in Birmingham invited us to be on call to engage in a nonviolent direct action program, if such were deemed necessary. We readily consented, and when the hour came, we lived up to our promise. So I am here, along with several members of my staff, because we are invited here. I am here because I have a basic organizational ties here. Beyond this, I am in Birmingham because injustice is here. Moreover, I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow provincial outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere in the country. You may well ask, why direct action? Why sit-ins, marches, etc.? Isn't negotiation a better path? You are exactly right in your call for negotiation. Indeed, this is a purpose of direct action. Non-violent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and establish such creative tension that a community has to constantly refuse to negotiate, is forced to confront the issue. It seeks so to dramatize the issue that it can no longer be ignored. I just referred to the creation of tension as a part of the work of nonviolent register. This may sound rather shocking, but I must confess that I am not afraid of the word tension. I have earnestly worked and preached against violent tension, but there is a type of constructive, nonviolent tension that is necessary for growth. Just as Socrates felt that it was necessary to create a tension in the mind so that individuals could rise from the bondage of myths and half-truths to the unfettered realm of creative analysis and objective appraisal, we must see the need of having nonviolent gadflies to create the kind of tension in society that will help men rise from the dark depths of prejudice and racism to the majestic heights of understanding and brotherhood. So the purpose of this direct action is to create a situation so crisis-packed that it will inevitably open the door to negotiation. We therefore concur with you in your call for negotiation. Too long has our beloved Southland been bogged down in the tragic attempt to live a monologue rather than the dialogue. My friends, I must say to you that we have not made a single gain in civil rights without determined legal and nonviolent pressure. History ends the long and tragic story of the fact that privileged groups seldom give up their privileges voluntarily. Individuals may see the moral light and voluntarily give up their unjust posture, but as Reinhold Niebuhr has reminded us, groups are immoral than individuals. We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. For years now, I have heard the word wait, and it rings in the ear of every African American with a piercing familiarity. This wait has almost always meant never. It has been tranquilling familiad, relieving the emotional stress for a moment, only to give birth to an ill-formed infant of frustration. We must come to see with the distinguished jurist of yesterday that justice too long delayed is justice denied. We have waited for more than 340 years for our constitutional and God-given rights. The nations of Africa and Asia are moving with jet-like speed towards the goal of political independence, while we still creep at horse and buggy pace toward the gaining of a cup of coffee at a lunch counter. Question number 10. King's purpose for writing this letter is A, to explain why he came to Birmingham to protest, B, to launch a nonviolent protest movement in Birmingham, C, to open an affiliate of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in Birmingham, or D, to support fellow civil rights activists in Birmingham. 11. What choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? A, lines 1 through 2, B, lines 3 through 7, C, lines 7 through 10, or D, lines 24 through 25. Question number 12. As used in lines 21 through 22, interrelatedness of all communities and states most nearly means that A, King has a personal connection to people in that town, B, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference needs national support, C, events in one part of the country affect everyone in the nation, or D, local civil rights groups operate independently of one another. 13. Based on paragraph 3, it can be reasonably inferred that King believed circumstances in Birmingham at the time A, were unfair and wrong, B, were constituted an isolated event, C, justified his arrest, or D, required federal intervention. 14. What choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? A, lines 21 through 22, B, lines 24 to 25, C, lines 25 to 27, or D, lines 28 through 29. 15. As used in line 41, dramatize most nearly means A, cast events in appealing light, B, draw attention to significant events, C, exaggerate events to seem more important, or D, turn events into a popular performance. Number 16. Which choice most clearly paraphrases a claim made by King in paragraph 4? A, a failure to negotiate in the South has provoked secret action by civil rights activists. B, a focus on dialogue blinds reformers to the necessity for direct action to promote change. C, direct action is necessary to motivate people to talk about prejudice and racism. Or D, nonviolent protest encourages a sense of brotherhood and understanding among citizens. 17. Paragraph 4 best supports the claims made in paragraph 3 by A, arguing that nonviolent pressure is most likely to spur just action by individuals, B, clarifying that throughout history, privileged classes have been reluctant to let go of privilege, C, drawing a distinction between the morality and individuals of groups, D, pointing out that a few gains in civil rights have been made without nonviolent pressure. 18. King refers to the gaining of a cup of coffee at a lunch counter, primarily to what? A, call attention to the sedative effect of delaying civil rights reform in the United States, B, to emphasize that white Americans will not willingly end oppression against Black Americans, C, to describe the progress made towards winning of equal rights in other countries, or D, to underscore the contrast between progress made in other countries and the United States. Here ends the article of the week reading.